This video will show you how to create a user history record so you can see who signed in and when they signed in and when they signed out in Microsoft Access. So you'll have a sign-on screen, so the user puts in their username and password, and that's what you see on the screen here. And if you look at the password text box in the After Update event, I do two things in here. I capture the current date and the time and I store it in a text box on the user sign-on screen. It's invisible to the user, but I need that for later use. And I run a query that appends a user history record. So those happen when a user puts in a valid password for their user ID. And if you look at the sign-on screen, you'll see there's a text box in the lower left that has the version date. I'm also capturing the version date so I can tell if the users are using the correct version of the program. In case I've distributed multiple versions, I want to make sure they're using the latest version so I can look at the sign-on and see the version date. So I just put in a new version date every time I make a change in this TXT version date text box. So I'm going to show you the query that I run. Here's my append query. I append 4 fields: the user ID, the username. The sign-on date time is taken from that text box, which has the current date and time, which I captured, and then the version date from the version date text box. And then when I close the program in my unload event for my user sign-on screen, I run another query. It's an update query. So I find that record. Here it is, QRY user history update. I find that record that I appended. So when the user closes the sign-on screen, which means they're done with the program, I'm going to capture the sign-off date. So that query is listed right here. And the only field I'm capturing is the sign-off date, and I'm locating the record. It has the user ID from the text box, and it has the sign-on date from another text box. So I locate that record, I fill in the sign-off date, and then I have a history of that user's sign-on and the sign-off. So to show you how that works, I run the program, I sign in. If you look at I have a table called TBL user history. You'll see that top record has the sign on but not the sign off because I haven't signed off yet. As soon as I sign off, that will be filled in with the sign off date and time. Thanks for looking at my video. If you have any comments or questions, you can go to instantsoftwarellc.com. Thanks for looking.